One of the signature projects of Governor Darius Ishaku in the area of water improvement in Taraba State is the construction of this 5.3 million litres water reservoir and recreational facility. On the program this week, I bring to you the DDI Water Revolution project.
Many residents of agrarian communities in Taraba have deserted their farms as a result of the recent floods. This may likely stir a humanitarian crisis if preventive measures are not quickly taken. Farm and animals were washed away, while 14 persons died, and over 300,000 others have been displaced, including children and the aged. The state government has flagged off distribution of relief materials to the victims. The governor, who is worried about the impact of the flood, now seeks assistance from the federal government.
You are very much aware it's no longer news that Taraba State has been devastated by the floods. And at the moment, at least 12 local governments are affected. In fact, over 300,000 individuals are affected by this flood. And we've even lost at least 14 lives.
Speaking at the flag-off of the food and non-food materials, the Commissioner for Humanitarian Affairs appeals for external assistance. He explains that 12 local governments are affected.
We know that it will be difficult for the state alone to be able to take care of every victim. And because of that, contact has been made with Northeast Development Commission. We are making contact with Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, and also, of course, their subsidiary NEMA and other donor agencies. But we are not, while we are waiting for their assistance, this is the effort of the state government.
Civil society organizations in the state are commending the government for steps taken so far, while some local government chairmen spoke on the effects of flood in their areas.
The government gesture is okay as a starter, because we were told that this is just the beginning. The government too is getting resources to do more, and we may use this to say if there are good-hearted Tarabans individuals out there, they should equally help us with food and non-food items, because the flood really did a very serious destruction in Taraba State.
A lot of farmland has been destroyed by flood. Over 300 people have been displaced because of the flood.
The Taraba state government is hoping that the Northeast Development Commission will come to their aid to avoid a food crisis in the state and the nation at large.
The State Commissioner for Water Resources, Iya Akrikwen, a senior advocate of Nigeria SAN, sheds more light on the water project undertaken by Governor Ishaku. Thank you so much for having us in your office. Let's talk about the business of water, which is your primary assignment, as it were, now in the state. Before His Excellency came in on board, I'm aware that the situation of water supply to Tarabans was not that great. Could you tell us exactly, as the man who is at the helm of affairs there, what was it like and where are you now on water supply?
When you talk of water supply in Taraba State, it's not only restricted and limited to the state capital, because everybody who is within the territory of Taraba State needs that water. And so when we came in, we saw that there have been problems of good quality water. And the government engaged in providing potable drinking water to most of the settlements within urban and rural areas. And so a lot of boreholes were drilled in so many locations and local government headquarters. And aside the boreholes that provided water for the rural area, he saw also that there is a need, because the impression that anyone that comes into the state capital has about Taraba State is the general impression that he will give, even in the rural area. So he decided to embark on this giant project of building a 5 million liters of water overhead tank at Jalingo Hills. And it is not only the overhead tank, but there's also the water field at the Karafi and Magami that brings water to feed the overhead tank. And that is almost at the point of completion.
Talking about that 5 million liter project, I've been there. It's a magnificent edifice. Because it's not just a water reservoir, but it's also a recreational center.
It's a recreational center. It has in it 2 classes of restaurants, and they sit out places. There is a gallery that can take events like even rally and any other thing. You could even celebrate marriage and birthday in that place.
Oh, I've seen the blueprint. I think it's a fantastic work to be done there. But I wanted to ask you, it's a 5 million liter water project. What's the current number of quantity, if I may, of water supply to Taraba State? Are you aware of the number that goes out already?
In Jalingo, we have some reservoirs. You see, some of them are not even working because the tank has started leaking. If you see close to that overhead tank, the new one we are constructing, there's another one that has been provided for us by, I think, ADB or World Bank, that is known. But this one is being sponsored by Taraba State or financed by Taraba State government. And we have never had any reservoir that carries the capacity as to the new one.
We actually went also to speak with some residents in Jalingo. And I was surprised that water is sold for just 150 naira, but it's cheap compared to the volume and quantity of water that is being paid for. How do you then fund the water company?
You see, we are taking over from a position of non-payment for water at all. Our people have the orientation that water is from God. And so if water is from God, nobody should collect money for water. But we have tried to break into that belief by making them to know that they are not paying for water, but they are paying for the services rendered to bring the water at that quality and in the position they found themselves. You understand? So that is why we had to collect less money as it is now. But as time goes on, when the people get to realize that, look, we really need this quality water and at all times, I'm sure whatever price that can be fixed for it, the people would pay.
Let's talk about the general impact His Excellency has had in the area of water around the entire state. Talk to us about that. Where was it before and what have you done now?
Yes, as I said, I think when he came in on board, even though I was not the first commissioner in charge of Ministry of Water Resources, he discovers that there are a lot of waterborne diseases and the hospital people were always complaining. And so the only remedy is to curtail it from that end by making sure that there is provision of quality and potable drinking water. And so he decided to tackle it from that. And many new boreholes were sunk. I think within this regime, the boreholes that have been drilled in most of the localities are well over 2,000. And the old ones that were in existence but non functioning were also rehabilitated. All these ones were there. So there is definitely an improvement in the supply of quality water in Taraba State in general.
I must thank you.
Thank you
for
very
your time
much.
with us today.
Thank you very much.
Taraba State water reforms is built on 4 policies, namely good governance, infrastructure, commercialization, capacity building, and ICT.
His Excellency, in his evolution, felt that there is need for us to give our people the dividends of democracy. And he reflected deeply and he felt that, okay, Taraba State is a rural state. Therefore, we cannot expose our people to unhygiene environment. It was on this note that he brought a bill on water sanitation and prohibition of open defecation, which this House of Assembly have passed. And that have reduced the menace of some of these diseases in Taraba State.
Governor Ishaku, continuing on his relentless passion to provide access to clean and potable water for residents, embarked on a mega water project in Jalingo, the state capital. It is a 5.3 million litre water reservoir and recreational facility located in Jalingo to meet the water needs of residents of the state capital for the next 35 years. The source of the 5.3 million litre water project is River Lamude. This is River Lamude by Seminaka, which when translated simply means take your own. And the government of Darius Ishaku is doing everything it can to ensure that every resident of Jalingo especially can have a share of their own part in nature's provision of healthy, clean and safe water. Right from here, the pipes are connected from this river up onto the water reservoir being constructed by this government.
Where we are standing right now is the platform that we call the raw water pumping station. The raw water pumping station comprises of an infiltration gallery, which is a well that has been sunk to the bottom of the river and is interconnected by pipelines that are laid laterally beneath the riverbed. It's an engineering structure that has lateral pipes, but with a media of what we call a media envelope that is responsible for filtering the water before it gets into the pipe. And those lateral pipes will convey the water into the sump, which we call the gallery. So the whole system is called Infiltration Gallery. The principle here is to allow the water to filter into the sump naturally, under a natural setting. And then from here it is being pumped through a pipe that is 600 millimeters wide in diameter, and then over a distance of 3.5 kilometers up to where the reservoir is sited.
I went to the main site of the reservoir on Mount Jalingo, where the reservoir is located. I was received by the consultant engineer Iwan Ahmed, the managing director of Taraba State Water and Sewerage Corporation Tawasco, Musa Buba, and the site manager, a young man from the eastern part of the country, Franklin Ibe. After a brief conversation, I was shown the magnificent blueprints of the project. From the Sabongari River, where we were earlier, this is where the connected pipe ends at the Darius Ishaku Water Revolution Reservoir. This site will not only be a water reservation center, but also a tourist recreational site. And by that, it is the first of its kind in Nigeria and beyond. What looks like the V shape is the water reservation center. Other substructure are the recreational facilities that would do that for anyone who would visit this property. After the tour of the water project on the Jalingo Mountain, we went to the Karofi water field, one of the fields owned by the Taraba State Water and Sewerage Corporation, Tawasco, which supplies water to some parts of Jalingo. The Director of Engineering and Technical Services, William Okan, and his men were present to receive us.
We have two well fields. We have the Magami well fields and we have the Karofi well field. So this one is called Karofi well field. Here we have 17 boreholes. 17 boreholes. And we have, they are industrial boreholes. These boreholes are equipped with 15 kilowatt submersible pumps we use to abstract water from the ground. We have a borehole that has about a depth of 26 meters. So these boreholes, each of these boreholes produce about 66 meter cube per hour. So we abstract water in this place and do some mini treatment and send it to the universities. We have a storage tank, elevated storage tank at the university. We call it at the Agri Hill, which is 1,500 meter cubes.
Okan took us round the facility and explained functions of various equipment and stations.
Yeah, this is, you hear that is the sound of the submersible pump that is inside the boat. And we numbered all our boreholes. Yeah. As you can see here, this is borehole 3, borehole number 2. I told you we have a borehole that is about 26 meter deep. So it is housing a submersible pumps of 15 kilowatt that give a discharge of about 66 meter per hour. I said this one is an electrical panel. As you can see, this is an electrical panel. This electrical panel controls the pump that is in the borehole.
From the Karofi water fields, we went to Tawasco to see the magic of science that ensures water consumed by residents is clean, healthy, and free from contamination. Right now we are within the physico-chemical laboratory, that's what I'm told it's called, where they carry out physical and chemical analysis of water. And the said man, Dr. or Engineer Joel, would take us through the procedure of what happens in here. Thank you for having us in your lab, sir.
Thank you.
So,
welcome.
Can you take us through the step-by-step procedure of how water is being purified in this facility?
All right. You are welcome.
Thank you.
What we do essentially in Tawasco, this place where we are right now is called Central Laboratory. What we do here is we collect samples of water that is treated. Water is our product in Tawasco, what we give out to the people, the populace. So we ensure that the water is in wholesome quality for the safety of the population that we are serving. And so what we do is that we get samples of this water, we bring them here, we analyze and ensure that it meets regulated standards. If that is achieved, then we give them an okay for them to lift the water or transmit the water
To the residents.
for distribution to the people.
The 5.3 million litre water reservoir and recreational facility is the first of its kind in Nigeria. Governor Darius Ishaku, as a man of vision and foresight, brought his architectural prowess to bear on the project to ensure that residents have access to clean and potable water, as well as attract tourists to the state.
The concept of that project is after giving water, it is also to bring tourism, which, you know, Taraba State is a tourist state. We have a lot of things that we can call people to come and see, and that will be in form of tourism for us. That project is a project that we have to clap for His Excellency for. The people within the state are happy. You can see that they were hailing him, because those people that are around that area, in the night, if you go there, you see how beautiful the project looks like.
To examine impact of the water supply cycle from generation, physical and chemical analysis to the final supply end users, I went round the city to speak with residents of Jalingo.
Right now we are in Alaji Aruna residence here in Lamude district. As you can see, fresh, clean water running in the compound. This is one of the dividends of the water project being undertaken by the Darius Ishaku administration
To ensure that residents of Jalingo and Taraba have access to clean, potable, and safe water.
We don't pay much because we are enjoying this meter. In a month, you will see they'll charge us 700, maybe 1,000. If you use the water much like this, and it will be 1,500 maybe. And we are getting water enough and enough.
In a week, how regular do you have water in a week?
We are having water like 4 times a day or 5.
We don't get water regularly, but sometimes we used to get it, even small, but not always we get it.
So for 1 week, how many times do you get that for 1 week?
We used to get water at least 2 to 3 days a week.
Okan was also on hand to share the first-hand experience of the water revolution by Governor Ishaku through the State Water Corporation, Tawasco.
Jalingo Metropolis, we have 9 districts. And presently where we are, it is called the Sintali districts. And we have our customers that we supply water to them. You can see sample of this tag. It is written Tawasco. Tawasco simply means Taraba State Water and Sewerage Corporation. So anywhere you see this tag, we know that we have customers that are taking our produce. We have a metering system that is going on. As I told you, we have the analog meters and we have the digital meters, which we are metering our customers. And the charges we charge for 1 meter cube is 150 naira. And others that we have not yet metered them, we give them flat rates. And the flat rate is 1,500 naira per month. And he said he pays sometimes 4,000 naira because sometimes they pay with arrears. If you are not metered, we give you a flat rate of 1,000, 1,500. But if you are metered, we have our personnel that will go monthly. They will read your meter and will even explain to you and tell you that if you 1 meter cube is equivalent to 150 naira, and 1 meter cube is equivalent to, they know mostly drums. Yeah. We indicate them because 1 meter cube is just like 4 drums. So 4 drums you pay at the rate of 150 naira, I think it is. And we used to tell most of our customers that they can read the meter themselves. Anytime the billing personnel come and take the reading of the meter, they can even write it in their own book. Then with the next cycle, when they come, they will now try to subtract the final reading from the initial reading. Then it will now give them, they will know how many meter cube they have consumed. And that will also enable them to know either the agency or the corporation is overbilling them or it is correct.
With the completion of this proposed 5.3 million litres water project, added to an already existing 2 million plus water supply to residents of Jalingo, the capital of Taraba State, Tarabans are sure of consuming clean, potable and safe water. This is the passion of Governor Darius Ishaku. Until next week, when I bring you more on the exploit of Governor Darius Ishaku, I just want to say, keep discovering Taraba.